BDSM archetypes, exploring dominance, submission, and more. Welcome to this presentation on BDSM archetypes. We'll talk a little bit about what the common archetypes are, the meaning of BDSM, and how we can apply these archetypes to ourselves and our play. BDSM is an acronym composed of three different groups. We have bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, and sadism and masochism. We'll talk about these and explore the BDSM community, shedding light on each characteristic and dynamic. So, what are the BDSM archetypes? An archetype refers to a distinct role or persona that individuals may take on during BDSM activities and dynamics. These archetypes often reflect their dominant or submissive tendencies and or preferences. So for dominant archetypes, we have the dominant or dom-may or dom, depending on tomato, your preference. It's usually changed to imply femininity with the two M's and an E. And the dominant is the central figure in BDSM dynamics and the person who exercises control and authority and navigates the direction of the dynamic and or play. They derive pleasure from being in charge and or guiding their submissive partners. Dominants may have different styles such as nurturing, strict, sadistic, or any other traits or personality types that you can think of. And when we talk about archetypes, it's really the common, the more known or more visible, but anything can be an archetype. Any type of personality can be a dominant one. So don't feel like you have to be in a specific stereotypical box in order to embrace your dominance. So there's also tops. And the difference between topping and domination is the topping is the physical activity, while domination leans more towards psychological and emotional. So tops are skilled at administering physical sensations like impact play, bondage, or sensation play. Unlike dominants, they may not necessarily have a dominant personality outside of BDSM scenes. For example, rope tops are not necessarily dominant, and rope in general is not inherently a power exchange. Just playing or giving someone a physical sensation does not entitle you to their psychological or emotional dominance or submission, So we'll talk about the submissive archetypes. We have the submissive or sub. Submissives willingly give up control to their dominant partners during BDSM activities. They find pleasure in surrendering and being taken care of by their dominant. Submissives may vary in their levels of obedience and service, going all the way from play and service exchange all the way into total power exchange, commonly known as slavery, or slaves. Bottoms, they are the counterpart to tops. And we talked about topping being physical. So bottoming is the physical reception of sensations, but they may not submit psychologically or emotionally to their partner's authority outside of this play. Bottoms might be more focused on the physical aspect of BDSM rather than power exchange. So someone being tied but is not following commands is likely a bottom. And it's helpful to know the difference between people and to help people embrace whatever their style of natural existence is, because we don't want to force other people into boxes that don't align with their desires, because then you have power struggle and we have inauthentic relationships happening and incompatibilities, because you might be a dominant seeking a submissive and you might be having frustrations with a bottom who is unwilling to submit or unable to. Then we have the switches. Some individuals enjoy switching between dominant and submissive roles or top and bottom roles, and they're known as switches. They're versatile and find fulfillment embracing both aspects of BDSM, while some may lean towards one or the other side of the spectrum. There are some who completely are equal and fluid in their topping and bottoming and dominance and submission. So let's talk about some of the dynamic archetypes. We've got the daddy dom and mommy dom and little. So daddy and littles or mommy and littles. This can also be caregivers or any non-binary or non-gender specific role of authority and the person giving up the authority. So the daddy dom, mommy dom, or dame takes on a nurturing and parental role. And the little baby girl, baby boy, or pet embraces a childlike persona seeking care and protection from their caregiver. This dynamic involves age play, but is not inherently sexual. Some people don't ever sexualize their play, and littles can be age regressive, meaning they psychologically revert to these ages, not just someone who is enjoying tapping into inner child play, but also that as well. We have the master and or mistress and slave archetype. The master or mistress assumes complete control over the submissive, known as their slave, or whatever they want to call themselves. When we're speaking about decolonizing our kink and black and brown bodies, some people do not resonate with the term slave. And so we have other forms like collared person, owned person, etc. Whatever feels comfortable and feels good is what we want to call them. For here, we'll call them slaves for identification purposes. But slaves give up all decision-making power and autonomy to their master or mistress. This is known as total power control, or TPE. This archetype also involves deep emotional connections and strong DS bonds. And that's not just limited to this, but all DS has the potential of being more psychologically bonding than your typical. And that's because we're in a vulnerable state, we're exposing our deepest desires, and we're receiving care and trust. So we have the owner and pet archetypes. This may be the primary or secondary nature of the dynamic, meaning you could be in a daddy baby girl or mommy baby boy relationship, and they may also have a little pet type of aspect to themselves, which would make you the caretaker or owner. And these archetypes can be compounded and added on. You can have all types of facets to your relationships. Owners provide training, care, and support to pets. Pets may be emotional or other support care providers for the owner. And this may involve primal and rough body play, although it does not have to. We have the sadist and masochist archetype. Sadists derive pleasure from inflicting pain and chaos, whereas masochists derive pleasure from receiving it. And this dynamic involves often careful negotiation and consent to ensure safe and consensual play. That's all play. But when we're talking about sadist and masochist type, we are actually engaging in what some people would consider to be abusive in nature activities outside of this consensual dynamic. So we have emotional masochism and sadism. We have physical masochism and sadism. We have psychological masochism and sadism. And we can also get into spiritual if we wanted to, take it deeper into divine kink elements. So archetypes and relationships. The BDSM archetypes play a significant role in establishing roles and relationships within the BDSM relationships or dynamics. Communication, trust, and consent are crucial in defining and maintaining these dynamics. And even without the play, these relationships exist in that same role of D-type and S-type exchanging power. So, in conclusion, BDSM archetypes offer diverse ways for individuals to explore let me just start again. BDSM archetypes offer diverse ways for individuals to explore their desires and preferences. Embracing these roles can lead to fulfilling and enriching experiences for participants. And always remember the importance of consent, communication, and respect in BDSM activities. Consent can be withdrawn at any given time. Things can be renegotiated at any given time, and things can evolve into new and beautiful dynamics. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and are thinking about ways that you can step into your desired archetype. Did you see any that stood out to you? How about some that are so far away from you that it doesn't even ring a bell? Let's explore those and see how we can begin applying them to ourselves. Peace.